Hello guys. As you can see, we are here in Manchester city centre, right? Today you're going to ask the public about the war that's going on here. So our topic today is asking the public about the war that is going on now. Yeah. All right. Cheers. Thank you. See you later.
My name's Jordan. Yeah. Nice.
Nick.
Who?
My name's Nick.
All right, Nick. Yeah. No. Can you tell?
What's my name?
What is your name?
Connor Ferguson.
Who?
Connor Ferguson.
Connor Ferguson.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nathan.
Nathan. Yeah. Okay. All right. What's your name, big man?
Sorry, what did you say?
What is your name?
I'm Reese.
Reese. Right.
I'm Harry.
Harry Maguire. Yeah.
I'm Jack.
Jack. Yeah. Can you tell us why you're having Ukrainian flag on you, babe?
Supporting Ukraine since day one. Yeah. So I'm part of my family's from Eastern Europe. All right. And I don't agree with what the Russians are doing with Ukraine right now. The war in Ukraine is not right, and we need to do something about it. We need to close the skies. We need to help our brothers and sisters in Ukraine. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. What do you think of the war that's going on now?
Man, I genuinely think it's the worst thing what could possibly come this year. Like, Russia is starting a war for no reason at all. And, yeah, it's just fucked.
Our question is, what do you think that the war is going on now?
It's not on, is it? It shouldn't happen. I'm not very politically inclined, don't get me wrong, but
Well, what is your opinion? That's it. That's all about.
Putin's a knobhead, and it shouldn't happen, should it, at the end of the day? I'm not very politically inclined. You're better off asking him. He's
Comment.
to do with, don't get me wrong, I'm not completely clued up on it, but I think if I have it right, when the Berlin Wall come down, didn't America promise not to expand NATO into anywhere near Russia? Is that right? Ish. But I think what America, well, I'm not defending it by any means. I get the impression America might have expanded, but obviously he shouldn't start a war, should he? I don't know.
Okay, big man. All right. It's all right.
So what I think is, Putin should be a man of his word, and he said there was going to be no invasion of Ukraine. And now look at where we're at now. We've got thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, French, of refugees trying to escape Ukraine because there's this awful conflict. And you've got the president of Ukraine doing the utmost, like KGB agents and whatnot. And it's just, I feel like, talk about nuclear war and a nuclear holocaust. You've had Putin say this one thing about, yo, I'm not going to invade Ukraine. And now he's invaded the Ukraine. And he said, look, now I'm not going to nuke the Western civilization. But he's not a man of his word, so I think it should put us all on edge. And we've got loads of volunteers from the UK doing their bit to help out the Ukrainian refugees, to help out, just mitigate this war so it doesn't spread. However, Putin is, from my opinion, and I could be affected by westernized news, but he is this warmonger who wants to incite fear in the people, and he wants to terrorize people just because he wants to seem powerful. And look, we could all be wrong about this war, because in recent days we've seen that a few Russian insiders have called the Ukrainian invasion an absolute failure. And Putin, from what I've seen on the news, he's been a bit quiet in recent days. And obviously, this conflict has been going on for so many years. It's only being reported now because NATO's been getting involved. And I just think Putin's got to actually be a man of his word and not this coward who says one thing, then he's a snide and then does another. I know I'm being a bit cunty there, but I feel like Putin has been
Really privileged being from like UK, right? Like we're at an island. The last time we were invaded was 1066, so we don't have to worry about these things. What's happening in Ukraine is horrible. It's happening in Europe. It's where we are, but we have to remember that this is happening across the world, and it's happening to a lot of people. So war anywhere is war everywhere, and we shouldn't accept it. And the issues in Ukraine are just exacerbating what we all feel.
So our man says that we need to help the Ukrainian, right? how can we help them? That's what he says. Because we need to help them. But how can we help them?
I mean, talk to your members of parliament, talk to the people, stand up for what you believe in. Tell them what you think. You know, if you genuinely think a no-fly zone across Russia is a genuine thing that you stand up for, and you understand what that means, and that genuinely means war, right? But if you stand for that, you tell your members of parliament and you talk to them. Elsewhere, you know, there's lots of ways you can send money and help people in Ukraine and across the world, right? To help themselves when they're fleeing conflict. There's loads of ways we can look after people who are less privileged than ourselves. Just look it up, Google it, look after yourselves.
I think it's unwarranted. It was an unwarranted move by Russia, right? Because to be honest, after what the world experienced in the past 2 years, you know, something like that, I think it's unwarranted because, you know, Ukraine was doing their own thing, Russia was doing their own thing, and for something like this to happen, it just adds more stress onto the people and adds more weight onto the people's shoulders, especially the people of Ukraine who, after the pandemic and everything like that, they just got to deal with another thing, man, and especially something, you know, a lot more intense as well. And they got to deal with the kind of the stress and the intensity and the fear of being attacked, and, you know, like in the main cities on the borders and like Kiev and everything like that. You know, it just adds another thing to the amount of stress that everybody's already got. You know what I mean? I just think it's a lasting